Okay, number 4, decriminalize minor marijuana crimes and other low-level offenses. That's a really broad sentence right there. Low-level offenses, but let's just maybe.
Yeah, but why marijuana?
Um,
Why do you think that? I mean, what's
I think the culture as a whole has grown to believe that marijuana is not that harmful as opposed to say crack or heroin, and so like why throw people in jail for that? It'd be kind of liken it maybe to like alcohol or something
right.
So they see a long litany of people, young men whose lives are effectively being ruined because they smoking a little weed, and now they're getting jail sentences, and now they have a record and all this and that, and it's like. I think that would be it. They just say it's just not that big a deal.
Right. I understand that. And we see states around us that are making it legalized, right?
Right.
So,
Illinois,
right,
Colorado. I mean, the country's headed that way.
It is, and and that comes down to your state legislature and how they continue to vote and how they are able to allow those things to happen.
Do you have any personal opinion on that one?
I've never smoked weed.
That was gonna be my next question.
Okay, but I've never smoked.
Have you ever
weed.
Done any drugs?
Well, the only thing I have done is I've drank a lot of alcohol.
Okay,
but I've gotten a lot better at that.
But not illegal drugs.
But as far as legal drugs, so your question on that, I have not. But I've seen what it has done to people, and it concerns me. It concerns me.
Yeah. So, okay, you've seen what weed does to people,
right?
What does it do to people?
Well, what I do see is that the stereotypical stuff, they become hungry.
Nobody wants that.
No,
Are you talking about getting the munchies?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's one thing.
Okay.
Extremely lethargic, and so
that can happen. It depends on the personality. Joe
does.
Rogan smokes weed.
Yeah,
that guy's productive.
He's doing some.
I think if you're lethargic, it can not help.
It cannot help.
If you kind of lack ambition and what's interesting, because I have smoked weed, and
right.
I have had seasons. I mean, I used to smoke it every day, all day. I stayed high for like 8 years straight. Yeah, and so I had seasons in my life where it did make me just like lethargic and lay around and lazy. But then I would go to college and wait tables and work doubles and be high, and so
right.
I could see I was highly functioning.
Right.
I was like the best waiter in my restaurant, and I was high.
Why'd you stop then?
I was addicted. And so that's part of my salvation story is that I became, and again, there's a difference, I think, between what I was doing, which was I had a problem. I was an addict. Like I woke up in the morning and hit the bong.
Right,
right
there.
And then every time that buzz went away, I'm at work, I'm like sneaking into the bathroom and hitting it again.
Wow.
Going out I had to stay constantly medicated.
Right.
And there was a lot of issues there. I mean, I was suppressing things. I just wanted I could be different than I am.
Right.
But when I became a Christian, I would say I got healed. Like God gave me a freedom from that desire. I mean, I didn't fight the battle for months or years. It was like, oh, I don't want to be high anymore.
Right.
And I told Aubrey was smoking weed with me.
Right.
I told her we're not smoking weed anymore, and I threw it all out, and it was it.
Wow.
It was the end of it.
Oh, praise God. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah. So even though I could see, look, I'm not going to say this is a healthy behavior. I'm not suggesting the people at Redeemer start smoking weed.
We're not going to open
but
a pot.
The question is do I want to throw someone in a cage over it?
Right.
And I think it's a fair question.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, because I've heard your story before, your testimony and everything. Were you ever arrested for it?
I was never caught for that.
You were never caught for that. It was for other things and stuff like that. Okay, so then taking yourself still back to that point, you didn't think anything was wrong with smoking weed.
I knew it was illegal.
Right.
I just wanted it.
You're right. You just wanted it. You wanted it, and you were high functioning. You did the work, best waiter, all those things.
Best waiter. That's what you can achieve, folks, on marijuana. But let's just say, I'm just saying, let's just say it's not good to be high.
Right.
Let's just say that.
Right.
The question, it's still a separate question of whether or not we want to throw people in cages over it.
Correct. Is there a certain limit to where we throw people in cages on it? Do we,
some things we lock people up over and some things we don't.
We don't. Right.
Like,
those are laws.
Maybe it'd just be a fine.
Right.
But right now, I think that's the thing, that this is marijuana possession is a crime up to
correct. It's
some
called,
kind of amount.
it would be called a possession of controlled substance.
Right.
That's what that is. We weigh it and then present it to evidence to the county attorney. They decide, if they want to continue to pursue the charge or not. But as far as the law is concerned, from your state legislator, what they make,
sure,
from the speeding laws to this, depending on what it is and how much, is exactly how much you may spend time in jail.
So right now, if I was to say, man, we should decriminalize murder,
correct,
and just let people go, you would be like, that's obviously not a good idea.
That's not a good idea.
But when you hear this, decriminalize minor marijuana crimes, do you go, oh man, that's not a good idea, or are you kind of like, whatever, man, let's see how it goes?
Honestly, my personal feeling, like, that's the way the country's going anyway. I still do see a lot of the dangers of it, and I probably have a front row seat of it.
Sure.
And typically how my narrative goes sometimes in my head, worldwide, is like, well, okay, if they're going to allow that, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? It's a slippery slope, right? We're talking logic here. So
we're going to decriminalize cannibalism.
Be a good idea.
So that if you get the munchies, all right,
you can't eat your dog.
Now, but part of it might be you are engaging people that are on marijuana, getting high, whatever. But they're also, because of what you're doing, there's something else at play there. So there's a lot of people that are smoking weed and just chilling at the beach. There's a lot of people that are smoking weed and then going to work out. There's a lot of people that are smoking weed and studying for their stats exam. You're not running into them.
No.
You're running into people that are on the front lines of some kind of criminal action or crisis or something.
Right.
And weed is part of the. I would say it might taint your view. You might go, if that's the only people you ever see high, then you go, well, that's what weed does. Like,
right. That's true.
Perhaps
that's true. And are there high functioning people that smoke marijuana? I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
I'm sure there
Eric
is.
Hansen's one of them.